here with Cobber head coach Terry Horan as he prepares for the family weekend game this weekend, Saturday against number 3 ranked St. Thomas, coming off a tough overtime loss against St. John's last weekend. But there's a lot of positives to take away from that game. You're kind of like the reverse of the Vikings. You played, you didn't play very well in the first half, but that second half you really turned it around. Talk first about the defense. You guys didn't give up a point to St. John's in the second half. Any adjustments that you made at halftime, or what was the difference between the first half and the second half?
The adjustments were just us continuing to play and to line up correctly and go make our plays. I think it just took us a little while to kind of get adjusted to the speed and what they were trying to do, but proud of our kids. That was a whale of a college football game. Two great football programs that have such a rich history with one another, and to have it come down to overtime, it's always, it's tough to lose a game like that, but you know what, nothing can take away from our kids' effort. I was so proud of them. They worked so hard. The only thing that didn't happen was we didn't end up in the W column, but we shouldn't be hanging our heads at all, because we got better last Saturday, and that, as a coach, that's what you want to see.
On that defensive side of the ball, 2 players that have really stood out that really don't get a lot of recognition, but they're out there all the time. Your inside linebackers, Peter Hvidston and Matt Moenkedick. What do they bring to the team?
Well, they're smart. They're just quiet leaders. They're gutsy. They understand what we're doing. They're tough kids. They're all over the field for us. They're on all our special teams. And you're right, they don't get a ton of credit, but yet those 2 never come off the field, and they've been performing at a high level.
One of the things, for the first 3 weeks has been your offensive ability to move the ball. You lead the league in the MIC in offensive total yards, and once again the ground game really pounded out against the Johnnies. Offensive line, and Brett Bounty especially, had over 140 yards. What was the keys to success for the running game on Saturday?
Well, just to continue to get better. We feel really good where we're at offensively. We're healthy. We're two-dimensional. It's when you look at Concordia, everyone thinks it's power football, option style attack, but a lot of people don't realize is we're as deep at wide receiver as we've been, and we have obviously a quarterback that can throw the football too. So I'm pleased in both phases there. We're running well with the perimeter threats, with the inside threats. But then we're also throwing the football well, and our play-action scheme is there. So we got to continue to keep doing that. If we can, boy, we're still tough to defend. That's for sure.
Let's look forward now to St. Thomas, number 3 ranked team in the country, undefeated so far this season. A tough game last year down at St. Thomas, but you get them at home for family weekend. What's going to be some of the keys defensively in stopping their offense?
Yeah, I don't know if you can stop them. You've got to contain them, though. They are loaded. They've got a great football team, and Glenn Caruso has done a great job, and he's got a great staff. He's recruited really well, but they've got some great threats. They got a quarterback in Dakota Tracy who's a gutsy kid, leader on that football team, and he's got a great target in Fritz Waldvogel, who was the MVP in our league as a sophomore, and he's a threat all over the field. And so we got to understand and recognize where he's at, and we want to put pressure obviously and do our part that way, but the Tobin kid too, he runs the ball well, and they got good people up front. So I don't know if you can stop him. We got to slow him down somehow. We got to slow him down, and then our offense is going to be our best defense. We've got to stay on the field, and something's got to give. Obviously our rushing attack's been pretty solid, but their run defense has been pretty solid. They're number 1 in the league against the run, only giving up 30 yards a game. So we know we've got a challenge in front of us, but it's one that we're excited for. Our kids want to play again, and they're excited to play again. There's no St. John's hangover, if you will. It's we're back on the horse, and we're ready to go. We'll be ready Saturday.
One of the keys could be on Saturday too, the special teams. We haven't talked a lot about that in the previous 3 weeks, but last week you had a couple of great field goals from Porfirio Diaz, your kicker, and you guys did a great job covering kicks, and you're number 1 in the league in punt coverage. Talk a little bit about trying to contain the St. Thomas, who does an awesome job as far as their kicking, return game.
Yeah, they really do. They're phenomenal. All their athletes that you see on the offense and defensive side of the ball, Coach Caruso's got them out there on special teams. There's a reason why they're performing at a high level. Fritz Waldvogel was a special teams player of the week. We obviously recognize that. We know where he's at. St. Olaf at the end of the game was punting out of bounds. He's just such a weapon back there. We understand that, and we need to know where he's at all times. But we got to do a really good job of covering and being on top of our game, because that is a huge part of the game on Saturday, and field position is so important. And you know what? We did get better within our special units, but we can get better. We need to get better, and we've got to be at our A game on Saturday.
Finally, it's the family weekend. It's one of the great weekends of the entire year. Families come back. I know it's going to be a special time for you and the team on Saturday as you're honoring Bob Kohler,
Yep.
a longtime Cobber family member, worked in the athletic department for a long time, just a tremendous person. Talk a little bit about Bob Kohler and what he's meant to this program.
Well, he's the father of our program, really. When any of our kids talk about Concordia football and a lot of their memories, those memories probably are about Bob too, because Bob, he's recruited for us, he's a teacher for us, he's kind of our travel coordinator, and he's just got such a great sense of humor. He's like a second dad to all our young men, and we really miss him this year, and we did send him along on our JV game out to Botno, and he absolutely loved it, and so we couldn't think of a better weekend to honor him, because he's all about the family. And I know our players, when they heard that we were honoring him with bringing out the game ball on Saturday, they were really, really happy about that. So Bob's going to get a good send-off from us.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.